Going on, guys? We're sitting here with our boy Cody Bread. We met him through D. Finally met you in person at D's wedding. I think it was the venue was here afterwards, after his wedding. And to be honest with you, like I've been seeing your bombs all over the place to begin with. But I think what we're gonna do is just give us a little rundown. Who are you? Like, what are you doing now? What are your little ventures?
I'm Cody Bread. Bread is obviously my graffiti name. I've been writing bread since like 2003. Got 9 years sober, coming up on 10 years sober. So I do a lot of stuff. Like I was in programs, AA, all that, sponsored people. But we decided to take the graffiti thing, like R.A.T.H is a graffiti crew. We decided to take that and do something, give back to the streets. So we started an outreach with it. 501c3, we're a nonprofit, and we give back. A bunch of us writers, we're all struggle with addiction, struggle with homelessness, struggle with incarceration. We got our stuff together, and now we're trying to give back with that.
Even at the wedding, I think there was at least 5 people that like once I got I heard their tag name, I was like, I've seen them around you. So like just at the wedding alone, you guys had some heavy hitters. It was a cool little, like the card that was over there that had
everybody on it.
Everybody's throw up on there.
It was a good time, for sure.
When D was at the crib, he was talking about, so you guys started RDS like as a graffiti group back in the day.
Before I wrote Bread. So D and I have been best friends since we were like 8. Right, that's my brother. It's not really my brother, but that's my brother. But we started writing graffiti and like we would go to like hardcore shows and like out in West Philly and stuff, seeing all the graffiti. But we were like 10, and there's all these other graffiti crews around, and we were too little. No other crews come like, oh, you're a 10-year-old, come be in our crew. So we started our own. Like I think 98 or 99, we started RDS. Before I wrote Bread, Bread actually is for my mom. My mom passed away, and I started writing Bread. It means being remembered every day after death. That's what Bread stands for. But before that, I wrote a bunch of stuff.
That's dope, honestly.
Thanks, man.
That's dope. Our thing is, it's Project R.A.T.H, Recovery After the Hook. When D said that you guys started as a graffiti group, like I remember like growing up, I'd say maybe like right when I hit like 12, 13, same type deal. You grew up around all the ESC kids, ES Mafia. So like we were like the tag alongs. Like, we hit the freight train tracks. Like every day we could get out of school early. Like we would just go out, and that was like the first thing besides I think like sports and stuff like that kept me out of trouble. And that was also like the first thing that I felt like I lost when I started getting high. Like there was times where I would dive into like my artwork and everything, but it wasn't the same. So like when I got clean, that's how the Humble recognized me. I was showing like some of my artwork and everything. That was like the one thing like that honestly told me like things were different this time. Was like I could start thinking about what I was going to draw. The inspiration came back. I didn't think that was ever going to come back, man. Like,
so it's funny, like I'm the same, right? So like I said, we started doing graffiti. I was always good at art, even when like I was a little kid. Like I won in middle school, I won contests and all this stuff. But people think graffiti and they think trouble, they think incarceration, all this type of stuff. But like throughout all my years, when I was focusing on graffiti and street art or whatever you want to call it, when I was focusing on that, I wasn't getting in trouble, right? The minute that I lost focus on that and started focusing on selling drugs, using drugs, scamming and scheming and flipping and that whole thing, that's when I got in trouble. So when I lost, and then it's funny too, because then when I would be incarcerated, it's the first thing I do. I go right back to drawing. That's an escape for me. It's a way for me to vent my emotions and frustrations. So I go into prison, I go into jail, and I'm drawing my ass off. That's how I made my money. But it's funny, like clearly that was getting me through that bad time. But then the minute I get out, I lose focus on that and start focusing on other things. And next thing, using again, back in jail again. So I'll tell you, so we have an R.A.T.H thing coming up where we're going to be doing like free street art classes for the youth. Right, in Kensington, we're going to be doing them. But like my whole thing with that, right, is like I had this artistic passion and this artistic ability at a young age, right? And like maybe if somebody would have like recognized that and helped me mold that and focus on that instead of like whatever BS they were teaching me in school. And I'll say I was a bad kid, but a lot of it I think was just like acting out because home life was bad. But it's like people have this artistic passion, this art inside of them. I feel like you got to hone that at an early age and get people to hold on to that and realize that, like, that's a way. There's a way that you could be successful through this art. You don't need to be, a lot of the stuff they teach in school, that's cool or whatever, but in the big scheme of things, like what is algebra or whatever. If you're not in a certain specific field, like, how is that going to pertain to your life? But if you have this thing that you're passionate about, like, grab onto that passion and go with it. So that's why we have the outreach where we feed people, we get people into treatment and all that stuff. And then the R.A.T.H, because it's like a mixture of both. Like, we were unhoused and incarcerated and all that type of stuff. And now when I came home 9 years ago, whatever it was. Every other time, like I said, I would be incarcerated. I've been incarcerated too many times to count, but I would come home and I focused on, like, oh, I got to get money. I got to do this. I got to do that. So this time I'm up there, I'm drawing, I'm making money, doing hankies and cards and whatever else. And, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm going to come home and I'm going to focus on this graffiti thing. I'm going to focus on my art and all the other, and I did, right? So I come home, I'm alone, I'm staying in halfway house, recovery house, all this stuff. I'm working at restaurants. I'm a chef. I'm working until 2, 3 in the morning. I'm lonely. I'm frustrated. I ain't got no money. And, like, living in Kensington, it's like I get home, I gotta walk up Indy at 2 in the morning and all this. But it's like what I decided to do was, like, go bombing, go painting at night, right? I would get done work. I go out painting for like an hour or whatever, hour and a half to whatever. What I was doing was, like, so like I said, to some that's a negative thing, but to me it was a positive thing, right? So all that any negative emotions I was having, right? Loneliness, that frustration, that financial insecurity, all that, I was taking that out on the walls, on the streets, right? Going out bombing, hit a couple tags, right? All that shit vanishes. All that shit's gone. As I get a few more years under my belt, I start to financially be okay. So then it switches, right? Then I don't really want to do street stuff anymore. I want to do trains, right? Yeah. So trains is the opposite, right? You're not getting the adrenaline, the hype, the pump. You're going there, it's like a Zen feeling. You go there, the birds are chirping, the sun is shining, you got this big old metal thing in front of you, blank canvas, you just clear your mind.
Yep.
Clear your mind, whatever you got there, you let it out. It's like a Zen type thing. So to me, it's all therapy, man. It's all a form of meditation, a form of transmuting emotions into something positive, into a beautiful work of art. And it's art therapy. So I got some other things going on too. Got, like I said, street art therapy. It's art therapy. A lot of people, though, you go in, a lot of people will be like, I'm not an artist, right? But that's not the point of the art, right? The point of the art is the expression, right? It's the expression of the emotion that you're feeling, right? So to me, like, people think, oh, I'm not Rembrandt, I'm not this, I'm not that, right? So if you're like, yo, well, this is street art, right? You don't have to be all that. Mm-mm. You can, and another thing, you could build a whole alter ego too, where it's like you have all this going on in life, and then you can build this alter ego where, like, nobody even really needs to know who you are, and you can start with that. Like, so with the whole street art therapy, I like tell people, like, look, it's not, you don't have to be Picasso to do a tag. I know plenty of writers, they got the craziest wickeds or throw ups or straight letters or whatever. Couldn't draw an actual picture to save their life, but they're an artist and they're still expressing themselves through letters, right? So it's like visual poetry. There's a bunch to it, but we're going to be taking that. I'm going to be taking that, and then I have a couple other of our guys who are going to be helping, Past and Doom. Those guys are going to be helping with the R.A.T.H, and then we want to bring the street art therapy into treatment facilities and, like, show people, like, early in recovery, like, you find something to express that stuff. If you're having anything, triggers, negative emotions, whatever, even happy, sometimes people relapse. Things are going too good. You know what I'm saying? But, like, if people have a way to express that on a piece of paper, I do a lot of auto drawing. Auto drawing is like, I just put the pen to the paper. Whatever comes out, I'm not thinking about it. Whatever comes out, comes out. And, like, teaching people different stuff like that. But I think, dude, art can play a huge role in people's recoveries, for sure. And so RDS is here to preach that. We're here to help people. And, like, we're here to preach that. Like, RDS too, right? Originally, when we were kids, it was like Real Deal Soldiers. That was like Real Deal Squad. We were at 10, whatever. So it stood for a bunch of things over the years with the outreach, recovery done simple, right?
It evolved.
A lot of people think like, yo, recovery is so hard. And like, is it hard? It is, right? But like, really, it just comes down to like you replacing when you're getting high and you're using these substances. What is it? You're chasing something. It's a mission. You have a passion to get high, right? So whatever your recovery plan is, whatever you're doing, AA, NA, smart recovery, harm reduction, whatever it is, right? So you have that passion, you have that drive to get high, right? So you have a passion and you have a drive. You have to find another passion and another drive to replace, for me at least, I had to find another passion, another drive to replace that mission of getting high, right? So some people find the gym. I'm a big gym guy. Some people find the gym. Some people find meetings. Some people find religion. Some people find work, whatever it may be. So a big thing, right? We got recovery done simple. And then also like we have like a 3-point plan, a 3-point recovery plan. Realization, determination, solution, right? I'm an AA guy. A lot of people are turned off by AA, right? So I try, especially out in the street. I don't preach AA. If someone wants to come to me and talk to me about it, that's fine, but I don't put that outwardly out there. But the realization, determination, solution is like taking the steps
12 steps.
and like getting them down to the bare core, and then like doing like being like goal oriented. Like every day you wake up, what are you going to work on today? Right? What's your goal for today? What's your realization? What do you need to do? It's determination. What's a little plan that you could form just for the day, not for the year, for the day? What can you do today to make today better than yesterday? And then the night, solution. Did you do what you planned on doing? How'd that work out? If it didn't work out, how can you make it work out the next day? Right? Tri-point recovery. But man, we got a lot of stuff going on. It's like it's crazy. Like I was out there, D was out there, a bunch of our other guys, Doom was out there.
We were both out there.
We were out there, and I lived. And then I got sober, and I lived out there sober. I lived on the block. I lived on Indy for my first 3 years of sobriety. I lived in the hood. I lived down there on the dope block. But I have 2 sisters. Actually, I have 3 sisters. One of my sisters has 11 years sober, actually. She started R.A.T.H in Delaware County. She's got meetings out there and stuff. But my other 2 sisters are still out there, right? And like D came home. D was doing outreach with some other people and stuff. And my one sister, I talked to them. They still hit me up, whatever, here and there. I usually hear from them at least once every 2 weeks, whatever. So at one point, I hadn't heard from her in like 7 weeks, right? And so me and D go down there and we're looking for my sister. And like literally like there's people laying face down on the ground. So we're like, first off, making sure these people are alive, but we're like lifting them up to see if it's my sister. You know what I'm saying? So like we're both down there and we're like, man, we like, what the fuck can we do? And with the graffiti thing, I had built like a little bit of following. I got a little bit of social media presence or whatever. And it's like, I didn't try and grow that. Like that just happened organically. And it's like, what good is that for if I'm not using that for good? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like, well, let's take this art thing, this graffiti thing, this following we already have. Plus, I've always, since on my internet presence, whatever, I've always talked about sobriety and my struggle and trauma and all that. So people already know. Like, it's funny how many people like via Instagram have hit me up throughout the years, like, yo, hey, I know you're sober, like, and you bomb and you write graffiti, like, how are you able to do both? And this will be like random people in fucking Indiana or Idaho or some shit. Random people. Found people. I'm like, they're like, yo, what do I do? Where do I go? I'm like, what city are you in? And then I'll look up a detox for them. I'm like, yo, look, this is the detox. Get there. After you get out, look, here's a list of meetings, that type of shit. But we're out there looking for my sister, and we're like, man, we gotta do something, right? So we decided to put the 2 together, and it's like just grown organically from there. Like people seem to help, and like a lot of people want to help, but also people don't want to go down there. And I understand that. There's a lot of people who like in sobriety, like why would you go back down? Yeah. Like you're asking for. A lot of people are triggered by certain things and all that stuff, and for me, like it keeps it green, it keeps it real. Plus, I drive through there every day, or I paint trains out there. I'm there all the time anyway. I go down there, drop stuff off to my sister, so I'm there. And like I said, I live there sober. I lived there when I was using. But a lot of people can't go down there, or they moved away, or whatever. But people want to help. And if we're able to vicariously take people's energy and motivation and bring it to the people down there, like what better thing to do, dude, man?
No, it's honestly like when first heard about it, like so like I knew CJ for a long time, and like it just that how it happened like generically. Like I was on there looking up. I actually met D's dad at an AA meeting.
Big Dave, that's my guy.
Dave came up to me and he's like, "Well, my son's out there doing this because I said I'm about to start doing these interviews." And he's like, "Well, you need to go talk to my son." So he gave me D's number, right? And he was like, reach out. This is their thing on Facebook. As soon as I get on there, the first person I see is CJ. So I hit CJ up and like we went out there, did my first interview with CJ. And like honestly, like everything that you guys are doing, like you said, like it hits different when you got people that you've seen out there, like you've seen them struggle the same way that whoever it is you're trying to help is struggling. So like when they see you and you go out there and you're not even like, at least like I haven't been out there with you, but I've been out there with D and CJ. You guys don't push like the recovery onto them. You guys just basically let it be known, like we're here if you need us.
So the best way to help someone is to let them help themselves, right? So there's a lot of groups out there, a lot of religious groups, a lot of church groups. That's cool, whatever. That's not our thing. And then like there's a lot of official looking people, collar shirt and all this. We just go down there, give out a couple sandwiches, get some water, but that's like what we're doing, but that's really like the side part of what we're doing. While we're doing that, we're building relationships with people. Like they see us like giant head tattoos and we're just regular dudes. We're regular dudes who are sober and got a little bit of time and want to help people out. And so I feel like it might be we're a little bit more accessible to people than maybe some other people are. I'm not putting anybody else down. Like that's awesome. But I feel like it's a little bit easier for someone to connect to someone just looking at us. They're like, oh, these are street dudes. Whatever. And our motto, from the streets for the streets, we were all out there. The main thing is like to build the relationships, right? So we go down there consistently and we talk to people and we meet people and we argue with people and then we make up with those people. Yeah. But it builds these relationships. And then it's like they have our numbers. A lot of times you're down there, people don't want to go to treatment. That's fine. But when they do want to go to treatment, they're like, oh, E, Cody, CJ, like, let me fucking call these guys. And then we get them into treatment. And then when they're in treatment, we make sure that they have clothes. We have a bunch of people donate clothes. Villanova University just donated like 300 pounds of clothes they just gave us. We gave out a bunch today, but we'll set aside like nice outfits and then we'll take them to treatment. Like I remember going to treatment, or I remember being locked up, right? And so many times I lost everything. I literally, like when I came home from upstate, nothing, not anything. I walked around in my state boots, state blues for like 3 weeks, bro, before somebody gave me some clothes. But like, just to know, like, yo, here's some nice clothes, here's some deodorant, here's some soap. Like, to have somebody drop that off to you, didn't have anything. Now you have a couple nice outfits, and like, just gives you some self-confidence back. And like, so like, we want to be able to be there for people their whole way. Like, so many times, like when I had to go through the process, I burned all my bridges. No one would even answer the fucking phone for me. I had nothing. I lost everything. And I wish I would have had somewhere I could call, someone I could call that has no judgment, that just picks up the phone like, hey man, what do you need? We got you. And like, so being on that other end of it and like knowing like what it feels like to be in there with nobody and with nothing, and like to be able to like try and be a little shining light for someone that's looking for the light, like they're looking for the way. And like, humanity could be fucking cruel. It could be really fucking cruel, right? And sometimes all it takes is one fucking person to flash you a smile, shake your hand, fucking give you a hug, to like just instill some faith in humanity in you still, and then like to make you feel like a person. And like, so that's what we're trying to do, man. Like a lot of people are treated inhumanely or like looked down upon by mainstream society, and like, and it's hard, like when you're out there, you get this negative perception of yourself too. Like I've been there, like I've been so ashamed to like look at somebody in the eye and like they look at me and I'm like, damn, don't fucking look at me. Like I've been there, and like have somebody not look at you that way and just look at you as a person, like a human being that needs compassion and love and someone there. Like that's more than anything, like that's what we want to do is to share that with people and make people feel human again.
Give hope to the people that feel hopeless. A bunch of stuff that you just said that like one like I run groups at my job that I run during the day. Like the first group I run is like psychoeducational, but like I always try and get them to like because like it's not supposed to be recovery 24/7. Like your life is you're supposed to grow as a person and like there's a big part like where drugs like filled that void or like they feel like they're an enhancer. Like you start doing them and they make you feel like you can do certain things that like you wouldn't normally do. Like and then like and I've done this before, like I told about this before, like there's that sleight of hand and then like at some point like the dichotomy changes and it starts pulling you away from all those things that you thought it was helping you become a better social person, talk to the girl, whatever it is. And next thing, like that becomes the thing that you want the most. Again, like you get away from all your they're called hooks and values. Like anything that pulls you away from the things that you value most is considered a hook. And that's why like our image is recovery after the hook. And it's like a marionette dangling somebody that's got a bunch of hooks in them because like afterwards it's not just the drugs that are the problem. Then the legal system's got its hooks in you and mental, whether it's mental health or just like opiate or amphetamine induced psychosis. Like there's so many things that like you feel like the world is just absolutely against you and like it's huge. It's not even something that you can really put into words when like because like listen, I've had plenty of people try and help me and like I can't even tell you exactly what it was and like when the change happened, but now I got a big group of people that like when I look back at it I'm like damn, if that person wasn't in my life in that moment I would have went left when I should have went right. And like it's more than just like being that person that's there that like instills like hope and humanity. Like it's showing that person that not only like is like you shouldn't give up on humanity, but you shouldn't give up on yourself. Like, and that's why like it helps when people see other people that have been where they're at, and like now they see them on the other side, and like they haven't forgotten about them. And then when you were talking about the R.A.T.H, I just want to like to make it as clear as possible because I want to make sure that like we get as much help as we can to you guys. Like I donated for the R.A.T.H thing, and if you have anything for the art therapy, just send it our way. And if you guys want to look it up, like on our page, there's a GoFundMe for the R.A.T.H. You can find it on our page or you can find it on RDS's page, Recovery Done Simple on Facebook.
We also have a website, recoverydonesimple.com. You can go on there and it talks about all the little programs that we're trying to do and the things that we do. Real quick though, I want to touch on something, right? You said it like I decided I wanted to stop, right? In prison. I decided I want to stop in prison. But I still probably had reservations, all that stuff. I had to do TC, right? I was doing these meetings in there. The meeting I was going to was the guy like that facilitated was like this lifer, right? Doing life. This guy's doing life. This dude was so passionate about recovery and like helping people, right? I remember pulling him to the side one night and I'm like, yo, like, bro, you're never going home ever. Like, how are you, like, why? And he's like, listen, man, like, I ruined my life. I hurt a lot of people. If I can reach one guy in here and he goes out there and makes a difference in the world and makes the world a little bit better, I can vicariously through you guys get redemption for the things that I did. And like, I had already made the decision, but like I think about that shit like all the time. Like that dude's still in there. Could be dead. I don't know. He was an old head, but never going home, right? And like in the big scheme of things, like most people start wilding out. Like we're never going home.
Yeah.
This man decided like his way to redeem himself for what he did, his past transgressions, was by helping other people out, right? And like, this is a guy that probably just whatever happened in his life, things got to the point where he made the decision that he made and it fucked up the rest of his life, right? And like, not allowing myself to make those same decisions and like, but like, it's like the same thing. It's like this dude's helping people out when he didn't need to, right? Yeah. And like, that's what it's really all about. But I think that's like really when I decided like, oh shit, man, this is deep. This is deeper than just like, oh, I keep going back to jail and losing all my shit. Like this is like the butterfly effect thing. Like if I keep fucking up, how many other people's lives am I destroying, right? Through these cause and effect shit. But like on the flip side, if I get my life together and I fucking start helping my friends, family, strangers, whoever, like how many other people could they possibly help? And like the same thing, butterflies. Like if you could help somebody change their life for the better, how many of those people are gonna go and help someone else? Like it's
the idea of like discipleship almost, like how church is like. Because listen, like I'm the same as you. I'm not like one of the people. I don't push religion. I really like I'm trying to figure out who I am. But like I was at a church one time and the pastor was talking about. He's like, so we helped put like 3 churches in Venezuela, 6 in Africa. He said, but those 3 in Venezuela each made 3 more, and the 6 in Africa, each of them made 3 more. And like those 3, and like it's like you don't know where you don't know where that end effect is going to be. Like you can, and like you said, but like if you do it on the flip side, and like you go out and you start hurting people and like hurt people, and it just keeps going. And like I think that's like Kensington to me is like purgatory on earth. Like and like it feels like it too. It feels like you're never gonna get out of there. So like just something as simple and like you just said it, just something as simple as that guy saying that one thing to you and stuck with you to this point. But like I don't know if you realize it, but you became that person that you went out on the street and like you didn't just do good, like he now vicariously has helped whatever people you've helped.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's a beautiful thing. And like when you're talking about the R.A.T.H, if I'm not mistaken, the R.A.T.H is you guys going and teaching kids. You know what I mean?
Early intervention.
So like, bro, that's something that like if I promise you this, like if I would have had the opportunity to like really put all of my energy and focus it into something like graffiti or street art, and I felt like it was actually benefiting me. Like, and it did benefit me just in the sense of like what you said, like it was like I could hit the flow state. I could escape my reality and everything, and it was something that other people liked.
So it's a thing where you might not have a sense of community. There's a sense of community, like the street art community or graffiti community, and then there's a lot of, especially people down there. We're doing it in Kensington. Anybody could come. Anybody's kids could sign up. That's fine. But let's focus on that neighborhood because it's like these kids got to walk out of their house. They got to see people shooting dope in their neck, smoking meth on the side of the street.
Yep.
People getting shot, people getting stabbed, whatever trauma you have to witness, right? So like I dealt with a lot of trauma as a kid, right? And as a child, you find ways to escape reality if your reality is fucked up, right? So, like with this early intervention thing, is like even if they don't latch onto the street art thing, whatever, but like trying to preach the message that like find something positive. Like if your reality sucks and it's bad and there's trauma and you want to escape it, right? There's ways to escape it in a positive way. Reading, writing, art, gym, sports, whatever, that type of stuff. But I think the same with me, man. If somebody would have at that early age, like when I was going through the trauma, like if somebody would have been like, oh, he's good at art, help them mold that. Let's tell them, hey, look, you're good at this. Like you should focus on that. Like throw yourself into that instead of just getting yelled at all the time. Oh, he's a bad kid. He's a bad kid. He's a bad. Why was I a bad kid? I was a bad kid. Why was I a bad kid? Because there was trauma and I'm acting out for my trauma. Bad kids ain't bad kids because they're bad. They're bad because something fucked up is going on and they're finding a way to vent and release those frustrations. So like with the R.A.T.H, if we can give these kids who are dealing with constant visual trauma, let alone they could have the perfect family life. Home could be great, but then you walk out your front door and there's fucking people dead on the ground. Like that's traumatic. That's crazy. If we can give even a couple kids a chance to focus and find a passion in something that can take them out of their current situation and put them somewhere else, put them in a happy place, whatever. Just the escapism, like I said, it's a traumatic experience having to wake up every day and go out your front door and
get people off the front porch because they're trying to find a place to sleep and they want to get up off the ground. You come out, you got a little brother, and that's what happened to me when I was younger.
Yep.
But it's honestly like that's one of the most powerful things. Like if you could stop that kid from going down the wrong path, right? And like they start diverting like all their time, their energy, and like all that, like I don't know, like that youth, like that just energy that they have as kids, and they go and find like a group of friends that could have been going down the wrong path, but they start steering them down the right path. Like that same ripple effect now has like the possibility of reaching way more people because they got way more time that they're going to have on this planet. And like even like you guys got, I didn't know you guys got clothes from Villanova, but I know you guys got the computers because D donated one to our house. So like just that alone is going to be helping guys get jobs. It's going to help them write their resumes. Like when I first got to this house, like it was one of the hardest things was to sign up for school without a computer, and the owner in the house bought us a laptop and like somebody took it. But like those people matter, man. Like they really do. And like you never know like what's right around the corner. And like the house I'm in right now, when I got there was this guy that was manager, and I'm not gonna say his name, I'm not gonna put him on blast, but like he was a dickhead, right? And like he was saying like he told to my pops, and my pops said that this is who I am, and like I'm probably not going to make it in this house. I knew he never told to my dad because my dad would never say something like that, right? Yeah. And like but he's telling me like you're never going to make it here. You might as well actually pack your shit. And like in my head, I was like, "What, bro? I'm gonna pack my shit because if I don't, I'm gonna lay hands, shoulders, knees, and toes on you." Because like my first instinct is to like face it head on in the wrong way or turn and run. Yeah. And like my old cellie from jail, shout out to my boy Will. He was my cellie in jail, my roommate in treatment, and then he became my roommate at the recovery job that we were at. But he said, "Yo, bro, chill out." Like, called the owner. I didn't even know there was an owner. I thought this guy was the owner, right? So, like, I make a phone call to this dude, and he's like, "Nah, listen, just give me 30 minutes. Like, this problem will be dealt with. Like, we've been having issues with this guy. Like, just hold fast." Like, 30 minutes later, there's a message on the group chat, and the dude, Dave, saying, "What, my time's been well spent here, but I'm moving on to, like, newer passion." And, like, well, the crazy thing is, like, when I came to this house, like, I was just trying, for all the wrong reasons, to get with my ex-fiance. I wasn't doing this to stay clean at first. Like, I was just doing this because I didn't have anywhere else to go besides back to the street. I just didn't want to keep living like that. And then fast forward 9 months later, I'm managing the house. And, like, I have a prospect of, at some point in the near future, doing something else, like a big move that has to do with the house. And like, I'm in a place where like they supported me to go to school. Like he was like, "Listen, as long as like you can pay your rent," he's like, "I don't care if you get a job." That was a big hang up with the dude. Yeah. He was saying, "You need to get a job, you need to get a job." I'm like, "Bro, I can pay the rent. Why can't I go to school?" Yep. But fast forward now, like I'm on my second semester, 2 semesters in a row, 4.0s. I got. And like now we're doing these interviews, and Shane behind the camera, like he's somebody that like I've had the blessing of being able to like not just watch him grow. Like we knew each other for a short period on the street, but like he came to the facility that I worked at, and then he went to a recovery house, and it wasn't working out at the other recovery house, and like I had the ability to like extend a hand and bring him in. And like, so like everything that's happening, if I would have just went with my instinct and went left instead of going right the way that I should have went, like my life would have been completely different because I didn't have anywhere to go. I was going to leave and I was going to go back to Kensington. And like, it just so happened that the one person that I needed that like calmed me down and be like, "Yo, bro, listen, chill." He just so happened to be right there when he needed to be. And like, now my life's on a completely different trajectory. So like I try and tell people in clay or like in the groups I run that like that whole saying like don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle happens. Like you don't know what's around the corner. And like sometimes like it's not all about doing just the next right thing. Sometimes it's like, especially with people like me, it's not just about doing the next right thing. If you don't know what to do, just don't do the next wrong thing. And like just sit and like find like a place you can go, meditate, whatever it is that you need to do to clear your mind. I promise you, like the right solution will present itself eventually. And that's the one problem with us addicts is like we're super impulsive. So like when we get into an uncomfortable situation, like we feel this like overwhelming pressure to react and to either show somebody like, "Yo, you don't know who I am," or like, and that's not the way to go. But
I'll tell you. So I like what you were saying, right? I first came home and I was doing all right, but I was like living wrong in other ways, right? First off, anybody that knew me before I got sober and they see me now or know me now, if you ask them like 10, 15 years ago, they would have said, "There's no fucking way Cody's ever going to get sober, right? There's no fucking way he's not going to be a piece of shit anymore, right?" So I remember being in meetings when I first came home, and like first the graffiti thing, everybody's like, "Oh, that's going to cause you to get high. You're going to get high. You're out there walking around while everybody's getting high. You're going to get high, right?" So I'm hard at it, right? The minute somebody tells me that I can't fucking do something, guess what? I'm doing that shit.
Yeah.
So in times of, I'll be honest, I said 9 years, almost 10 years, I never had a fucking urge to use again, right? Yeah. But have I had like bad mental health moments or bad like frustration moments and shit where like I easily could have? For sure. But in the back of my mind, it was always like, yo, you can't let them assholes be right about you. You can't, to me, I'm like, nah, I'm not, fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. So sometimes I stayed sober out of spite, right? So my daughter was premature, right?
Same.
She's about to be 7. I used to smoke cigarettes like crazy, like a pack and a half a day, right? She comes out and basically the nurse is like, yo, you can't, even if you smoked a cigarette 5 hours ago, if you get that shit on your shirt, you could send her into an asthma attack. She could, and my wife, Taylor, was like, she doubted me, not gonna lie. I'm like, I'm gonna quit. And she's like, bro, I don't know if you can quit. So I was like, wait, you don't think I could quit? I threw the cigarettes. It's almost 7 years now. I haven't had a cigarette. Well, first of all, because I wanted to help my daughter when my daughter be hurt. But another part was like, I'm gonna spite Taylor and be like, yo, I told you I was gonna quit smoking cigarettes. Like that hard-headedness, and like I feel like a lot of us with substance abuse disorder are the same way, right? Yeah. And like you might have people doubt you, you might have people snap biting or saying shit like, but at the end of the day, right? Don't let them prove themselves right. Like if for one day it takes a little bit of spite for you to stay sober, be a spiteful motherfucker. Fuck it.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree. Sometimes like get caught up in shit like that all the time, but like for myself, that was like the biggest eye opener was, and like I'm not even saying that this is you or anything. For me, my biggest problem like when I was in active addiction and like early recovery was like somebody would, like I had to be honest with myself though, like most of the time that I ran out, if it wasn't over life going too good, which has happened to me for sure, but if it was over something bad, 90% of the time, bro, like I was being a pussy. Like I let somebody hurt my feelings and like I let them walk me out of whatever like my blessings were, whatever the good people I had, because I couldn't stand to let that person disrespect me or whatever.
That's that ego talking.
Exactly. And next thing I know, like it's that old quote where they say, "Fuck you, I'm gonna show you by putting poison in my veins." Like, I'm gonna put poison in my veins to kill you. It makes no sense.
But flip it on the other side.
Exactly.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the opposite. Like ego's got a big part, especially for me, and like so graffiti's like an egotistical sport, right? Yeah. So it is. And like coming into programs, they teach you to like keep your ego in check, right? So it's a hard balance when it comes to that. Like, why am I doing this graffiti thing? Am I doing it to feed my ego, or am I doing it to vent my frustrations? And now like finding that balance is hard to do sometimes. But trying to be humble, I think is a big thing in recovery, and realizing like you're not always right. Sometimes people are right. And then like also I'm a prideful preacher, and sometimes when my pride is hurt, I might make bad decisions. But like, why am I prideful in the first place? Do I have to take pride in? Right? So there's the good that I put out there. I'll put pride in that. Like, but keeping the ego in check and like, I was like, keeping an inventory is a big thing for me too. Like I said, that solution part, that realization, determination, solution, that solution part. At the end of the day, like, what did I do today to make my life better? But what did I do today to make somebody else's life better? And like, try, hopefully at the end of each night, when I do my inventory, I'm like, all right, I did all right today. There's plenty of days, a lot of days where I'm like, maybe I can be better tomorrow. Today was not too good. But realizing that's fine. Like, but, and then I'll say like, cause look, I did AA, right? I'll go to meetings still here and there, but like doing the outreach, I've realized that like, and I took CRS class, I did that. I realized that like recovery doesn't mean sobriety, right? Just because I'm AA sober and that's what I do, that might not be somebody else's path to recovery, right? And whatever my spiritual beliefs are, doesn't have to be somebody else's spiritual beliefs. Whatever my political beliefs are, they don't have to be somebody else's political beliefs. None of that, right? So with the recovery thing, right? Like I said, that R.A.T.H thing, that realization term. So it's a daily thing, right? Like if you're addicted to Trank, right, and you're doing really bad on that, and you're doing 8 bags a day or something, right? If the next day you could do 6, then the next day you could do 5, and then next day you could do 4, right? That's recovery. You're on the road to recovery, right? So it's about, a big thing with me is like, I don't push my beliefs on anybody. My beliefs are my beliefs. You figure out what your beliefs are, and I'll support you through whatever that is. If you think that like you can stop using whatever hard substance you're using, just smoke pot, cool. Like, I know a lot of people that shit worked for them. For me, no, right? But that's for me. And then it's not my place to tell anybody, yo, you can't do that. Nah, bro. Let people find out for themselves if they can, if they can't. Like, that's just how that is. But, like, that was a learning experience, like, going to AA meetings, and, like, a lot of people are real dogmatic about it, and they're very opinionated and judgmental. But I'll tell you, AA worked for me, and it worked great for me, and it works great for a lot of people. But that's not the only way. That's not the only way. There's so many other ways out there. And if you're unhoused and you're laying half dead on the road, and you can stop doing that, and you're just doing whatever else, but you're able to get a job and got somewhere to live now, and you're in recovery. You're in recovery, man. And like allowing people to find their own path to recovery is super important for me now. And that's why I don't preach any type of dogmatic type of recovery path. People can pick their own, and I can guide you where to go to find support in that, like whatever. But and I think what R.A.T.H is doing, I think, is important. I think what we're doing is important. I think having a presence out there and showing people like, yo, look, these guys and we have a lot of people who we have helped out, and now they come back and volunteer, right? Love. And like, so if Tom and Jane and Dick and Harry or whoever was out there, and then they just seen Joe or John or whoever, they were just out there with them getting high, right? Yep. They went to treatment. Now they see this person coming back out a month later or whatever, and they're on the other side of the table. And they're fucking giving this stuff out. And they look good. And they got a glow. And they got some fucking fresh gear on. And like, it's like, damn, bro, if he could do that shit, he was just out here with me laying on the ground. Yep. Look at him now. Right? And like, being an inspiration, like, I think that's like a big part of it, bro. Like,
that beacon of hope.
Man, like seeing that, like, yo, it can be done, man. And like, but anyway, that's what we're all about, man.
I just want to touch on this real quick. And then after I say what I say, I want you to just list off like the certain things you're doing, where they can find it, the crayons or crack pipes, Sean, anything you want to shout out. But like just the things where you're talking about, like set little goals, and like just help my girl make like a goals list. And like I was like, problem is like you're looking at everything, like you got to do all this different stuff. People are throwing things at you each day. You just got to write it down on a piece of paper so you can see it. Because then once you do it, one of those things, that thing's gone. You don't have to do it.
Check it off.
And then even in groups at the treatment facility, I tell people, like, listen, like you can make short-term goals and long-term goals. And those short-term goals are like your little stepping stones to lead you to that first long-term goal. And like they don't need to be huge things. And like you said, like dropping down, like that is in the process of recovery. I hate when people say like this isn't recovery. When I'm in treatment and like clients will be like, because they heard it parroted at a meeting, they're like, this isn't recovery. And I'm like, well, hold on, bro. Like by definition, like you don't have the drugs in your system right now. Like your body's an amazing thing. So like your body is going to start repairing itself. Like it is recovering from the damage that you've done. So like even if you're not really doing no work, your body's in the process of starting to recover. And like it's not one it's not a cookie cutter, like not one size fits all. Like whatever works for you, whatever works for me works for me. And like I feel like just like you just said, like programs that support whatever your tribe is, I think are going to be more beneficial to people, especially like because there's some people that have really bad taste in their mouth. Like they helped me like tremendously, it really did. And like I'm still a part of it, but like I'm trying to do my own thing because I feel like there's parts of Narcotics Anonymous and AA that I think exclude certain people.
For sure.
And I don't think that's really, it's not their fault that like for some reason they need to do this or they need like, and like if it's not going to work for them, it's not going to work for them. But like they're supposed to have no opinions on outside issues. And so like I go to NA because like that's the place that I know I can go and I can meet some people that are like-minded and I can get in where I fit in type thing. But I don't think that if somebody's on Suboxone or Sublocade, should exclude them from being able to have this. And like if somebody's on Sublocade for 2 years, even though most people only do 3, 1 and done, but their life's completely changed around and like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, I don't think that their recovery should be looked at as less than somebody else's that with nothing.
For sure.
Because just like you're saying, like let's say like CJ, and I'm not saying CJ is, but like let's say CJ was on some medication assisted treatment, but he's still out there helping people, right? The effect that he's having on the people that he's helping is no different, because you know
exactly.
what I mean? It's no different. Like the ripple effect is still the same, and I understand why they wouldn't want it. But I'm happy I got to meet you. It was cool to meet you during Dee's wedding.
For sure.
I was honestly, I was happy you even invited me. You guys are doing a lot of good, man. Like I said, that computer that we have at the house, like that's going to help a lot of people for a long time. Just meeting these new connections and like building a network, like that's like the beauty of like actual recovery, not like just the NA or the AA or Celebrate or Smart recovery. Like it's not about what group you go to. It's about building these networks of people and like building a solid group of people that like you can start trusting. And
community.
Like you said something about your daughter. My daughter was born premature. My first sponsor, like he taught me how to be a man. He really did. Like, and like they helped me get into school. I wish I would have followed through the way I should have, but like those people taught me how to not just be a man, but like just not be a degenerate. And like that carried over, even though it didn't like stick that time. Those lessons I learned, like once I was willing to like re-entertain them, they were still there. So like you don't lose, even if you go back out and you relapse, like you lose your clean time and like you might lose a little bit of yourself. You don't lose those lessons. Like if you really took them in and you learned them, like the day that you're willing to re-entertain them and reintegrate them into your life, they're still there. And like
muscle memory, baby.
Exactly. I know you gotta wrap up. Where you say 4:30.
So Cody Bread, that's my name on Facebook. Recovery Done Simple. We have a Facebook. We have the website, recoverydonesimple.com. We got the R.A.T.H going on. That's starting in a couple weeks. We have you can go on the website. You can volunteer with us. You sign up for volunteering. We always need more volunteers. My art account is crayons and crack pipes. I'll tell you the story when I came home from jail. Like I said, if I wanted, I could have went 2 different ways, right? I was in Gaudenzi. I was in a halfway house.
That's where I work.
I was walking to Frankfurt because my meetings were in Frankfurt. I was walking from Germantown to Frankfurt. As I'm walking out, I see a crayon, and I see a crayon, and I see a crack pipe, right? Literally, I'm walking, I look down, right? And like, I could have picked up that crack pipe, but instead I picked up that crayon. I started, even though I didn't have a marker, I'm walking all the way to Frankfurt. I used that crayon, I started doing some tags, right? Crayons and crack pipes. So that's my art account. We also have Recovery Done Simple, which is an Instagram account as well. Most of our stuff we do via Facebook, though. Anybody that needs help, too, can always reach out to us. We can get you to a detox. We can help you out while you're in there. Even if you just need somebody to listen to, you can hit me up. You can hit CJ Banks on Facebook up. Mm-hmm. You can hit David Carr on Facebook up. Any of us, you hit us up. If we can help you, we will help you. If we can't help you, we'll try and point you in the direction of someone that can help you.
Same thing goes for us. Obviously, you're going to be watching this on Project R.A.T.H. It's R.A.T.H, Recovery After the Hook. And we're going to try and get some of those things so we can link it in the description of a video. But if you can't get a hold of us, which I don't see how you couldn't, Project R.A.T.H, get a hold of us. Me personally, it's Sean Riley, SeanReiley, or Shane Swenson. It's Swenson. But like I said, man, I was happy to meet you, bro. I'm happy to hear your story, and I look forward to working with you.
Thanks, guys.